Hello, this is Charles, and I just wanted to just tell you the reasons why I'm focusing lately so much on the filmmaker Brian De Palma. I don't actually believe in ranking anything or anyone as like the greatest of all time or anything like that, especially when it comes to art. But I do believe in favorites. Having said that, I certainly think Brian De Palma is one of our greatest directors of all time, and he's certainly my favorite. Um, and I talk about him because he's in his 80s now, and obviously he doesn't have a lot of films left. In fact, I hope he makes at least one more movie. Um, Problem is, it takes funding to make movies, and unfortunately, he doesn't quite get the same kind of funding that his friends Martin Scorsese or Brian or Steven Spielberg get. And I get it. Of course, it's a business. However, it's my belief that Brian De Palma is every bit as great a director as those guys, and perhaps even more of an auteur. And the reason I say this is, nobody's films look quite like a Brian De Palma film. He includes, of course, split screens, split diopters, 360 shots, POVs, long tracking shots, and of course, known for his suspenseful set pieces. Pieces like the break in at Langley and the Odessa step sequence in The Untouchables. All these things are staples of a Brian De Palma film, and he's got the filmography to prove his greatness too. I mean, any filmmaker would be proud to have movies like Carrie, Scarface, The Untouchables, Casualties of War, or Mission Impossible on their resume. And you add to that the many films that have become classics or cult classics over time, like Phantom of the Paradise, Blowout, Body Double, Carlito's Way, Femme Fatale, and it becomes quite a unique resume, a resume that only Brian De Palma would have. Yet, one of the great tragedies, in my opinion, is that Brian De Palma has never actually received a single Oscar nomination. And, for his fans like me, watching his peers and his friends receive all these awards and accolades while De Palma himself receives none, it's hard to watch. It's a difficult thing to see. But, what we have to realize is that De Palma has always, become, well, he always pushes the envelope. He's a bit of an iconoclast and always kind of resistant to playing by Hollywood's rules. And of course, that has consequences. If you push too many envelopes, you become polarizing. I think by now, he kind of wears that like a badge of honor, or at least he probably should anyway. It's too late to really care about what Brian De Palma hasn't won or what accolades he hasn't received, but I can at least express some hope and express wishes that maybe the Academy or the American Film Institute or even the Kennedy Center honor Brian De Palma for a Lifetime Achievement Award. There's only been a couple of film festivals, that have given him that kind of an honor. But I think it's high time for Hollywood to do the right thing and honor his body of work. In fact, if I had only two wishes for Brian De Palma, it's that he make at least one more film, preferably like a real vintage Brian De Palma style film. And the other request is that he receive some sort of high profile Lifetime Achievement Award. So, anyway, in conclusion, I talk about Brian De Palma because I believe he's underrated and underappreciated. I most likely won't talk about, his most popular films, like The Untouchables or Scarface, but instead, like I did with The Black Dahlia, at least I'm much more interested in exploring his work that were, underrated or ignored, overlooked, and often misunderstood. And many of those films equally as worthy as his more famous works. So I thank you for indulging me, and until next time.